صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا ليتنا إن كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال ابنوا عليهم بنيانا صدق الله العلي العظيم. My respected brothers and sisters in Islam, elders in the community, I bid you all assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Visitation typically is seen as a topic which is specified towards visiting the shrines of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. How many times have you noticed whenever you hear the term ziyarah, it's typically something that brings about connotations of the ziyarah of the Mawla, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, or any of the 14 infallibles. Yet in reality, the term ziyarah is something that has much to do other than visiting the Imams alayhim salam. Visiting, for example, your family. Visiting, for example, sacred places other than the places of the Imams. In other words, I don't want to get too much into it before the actual research comes in, but there's much to do with ziyarah other than the ziyarah of Arba'in, other than the ziyarah of Karbala. The topic of ziyarah, visitation, as a topic hasn't had much attention given to it, despite it being an important topic. So in other words, tonight we want to look at the different forms of ziyarah and their relationship to the ziyarah. You see, okay, ziyarah of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam is important, I understand. And there are other forms of ziyarah as well. Yet why should we speak about other forms of ziyarahs if they have nothing to do with the ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam? Are you with me? Therefore, they need to be looked at. And the relationship needs to be looked at as well, most importantly. The first form of ziyarah, which the ahadith come and give us, is ziyaratul qubur. Yes? Visitation of graves in general. Now, firstly, the discussion needs to be asked, is visiting graves acceptable in the religion of Allah, in the religion of Islam? Is it okay to visit graves? Because this topic has been one of the main reasons why Ahlul Bayt, or in other words, the madhab of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, has been accused of a religion or of a sect which encourages grave worshipping. Yes or no? How many times have you heard the discussion that visiting the shrines of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam is shirk? Visiting the shrine of you Shia worship graves. You Shia, for example, is it not on? Okay, now it's on. You good? صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على. You, O followers of Ali, worship graves. You are followers of Ali are what? Grave worshippers. You are mushrik. You are one who practices kufr. In other words, they have used this topic of visiting graves as a topic which accuses us of being grave worshippers. Firstly, from the offset, no one worships the grave of Hussein when he visits it. You see, I remember posting a status on Facebook, which I said, if they asked me, would I say Ya Allah first or Ya Hussein? I would say Ya Hussein. Why? Because Allah told me to say Ya Hussein. Yes? Makes sense? Some girl from Bangladesh, or I don't know where she's from, hopefully she's not hearing the lecture, or hopefully she is. She comes in and she says, you Shia are kufr, you Shia are this, that, and the other. I told her, go and read about wasila. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah wabtaghu ilayhi al-wasila. I'm not telling you to say Ya Hussein as ends, Ya Hussein. And this is a problem. Many people, they say Ya Hussein as an ends, or they might think it's an ends. That's where the fallacy falls into place. No, when I say Ya Hussein, I'm saying Ya Hussein because he's closer to Allah than me. So I'm telling him, Ya Hussein, through your closeness to Allah, help me. Through your closeness to Allah, aid me. Through your closeness to Allah, accept my my repentance. For example, so from the offset, I don't visit Hussein because of Hussein as an ans. Hussein is not an ans. If the minute you make Hussein an ans, you fall into the same trap of Christianity. Yes. Therefore, what you begin to notice is that from the offset needs to be made clear. I don't visit Hussein as an ans. I visit him and I prostrate possibly to his grave, just as the brothers of Yusuf prostrated down to Yusuf. Nobody said that Yusuf was a god when they prostrated down to him. Yet Allah Azza wa Jal commanded that they prostrate down to Yusuf. Therefore, firstly, from the Quran, where chapter 12 of the Holy Quran, surrounding verse 90. For example, verse 93 and so on and so forth, you'll notice that Ya'qub alayhi salam asked for what? Salamullahi alayhi. He asked for the shirt of Yusuf. Yes? He asked for the shirt of Yusuf. They brought the shirt of Yusuf to him. He smelled it. He said, I smell the scent of Yusuf in this. Instantly, his eyesight came back. Quran is there. The eyesight of Yusuf came back to him. We come in to ask a fundamental question. If a shirt of a prophet can bring back sight to the eye, why can't the grave of an imam bring sight back to my heart? Yes or no? If the sight of the shirt of Yusuf can bring back vision to Ya'qub, then why can't the grave of Yusuf, of who? Of the king of Yusuf, Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam, the inheritor of Yusuf and of 124,000 prophets, why can't he also be seen as one who can bring vision back to my heart? In other words, don't come and say that the shirt, barakah, is a real concept. If the shirt of a prophet had barakah, then why can't the grave of a prophet have barakah as well? Don't say the grave can't have barakah, yet say the shirt can have barakah. No, if you're going to stick to one, stick to all. You can't pick and choose in this religion. You're not playing I don't know what kind of game you want to play. You're not picking a pick and choose game. It's not, we're not playing game. You either take it all or you take none of it. Go become a Christian, for example. In other words, what you begin to notice is that barakah is real. Barakah is a real concept. It's not for no reason. For example, didn't Allah tell Musa, "Inza' ikhla'na alayka innaka fil wadi al-muqaddas tuwa"? He told him, "Oh Musa, take off your slippers. You're in the sacred land of Tuwa." You don't take off your slippers because you're in a blessed land. Therefore, blessed objects, blessed places, is a truth in this religion. Therefore, the first level is the incident of Yusuf alayhi salam. Barakah is real. Furthermore, you come and you see how many people, they see the flags of their nation as blessed. Yes or no? Today, even non-Shia, they come and they take barakah from the flags of their countries. Or for example, they take barakah from, these are symbols of their country. It's fine. They take barakah from the symbols of their country. So you come and you tell him, why can you take barakah from the symbols of your country, but you can't take barakah from the symbols of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes or no? Makes sense. If you're going to take barakah from the symbol of a nation, then why not take barakah from the symbols of the symbol of this religion? وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. The blessed ayah comes and says, he who honors the symbols of God, the sha'air of God, the signs of God, is from the signs of purity. Therefore, what you'll begin to notice is that he takes barakah, not only that, from his king. He'll go today. They kiss the hand of their king. You tell him, you kiss the hand of your king, and you don't kiss the hand or the shrine of the kings of kings, Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. So these kinds of things need to be made clear, brothers and sisters. These kinds of notions need to be made present for those who disagree with us. So what you'll begin to notice is that on the first level, the Quran is there. On the second level, barakah of other objects they find holy. Why don't you apply that same concept to Quran? Or in other words, to the shrines? And then number 3, narrations, which come and make acceptable visitation of the graves. Aisha herself, she would go to Mecca and visit the grave of Abdurrahman ibn Abi Bakr. You know that? Abdurrahman, her brother, alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, she would go and she would visit the grave of her brother. They would tell her, Rasulullah said it's unacceptable. She would tell them, no, this isn't true. Who else? Umar himself would go and visit graves. Aisha would visit graves. In other words, if you're going to come and say it's unacceptable to visit graves, those who are revered in your very sect or your very system are ones who used to visit graves. So on a number of areas and on a number of levels, the visitation of graves is acceptable And on the last level, there are benefits to it. Imam al-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salam. Sixth Imam, may our lives be ransomed for him. He comes and he says, when you visit the dead, he's happy. You bring happiness to your father. May Allah prolong the lives of all of your fathers. And if they're passed away, you bring happiness to him. What else? When you go and you visit the grave, 6th Imam alayhi salam says, bring presents to him. He's happy. Now, what kind of presents are we talking about? Are we talking about bring him a PS4? No, don't leave it. Give that to me. No, I'm joking. Is it go and give it to him? No, you leave it next to him, some hobo will come and take it. Or what you'll begin to notice is that you give him presents. Yes? Yeah, what kind of presents? The presence of Quran, the presence of Surah Yasin, the presence of dua, the presence of dua joshan, for example. These are the greatest of presents, yes or no? So what you'll begin to notice is that there's benefits to it. What else? Visiting the graves is the greatest reminder of the Day of Judgment. Thursdays we're recommended to go and sit next to the graves. We're recommended to go and embrace yourselves, or in other words, surround yourselves with the aura of death. Today you go on Google, you search death. How many people are scared of death? When will I die? Am I going to die? Tell me how I'm going to die. People are afraid of death. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, was he afraid of death? Yes or no? He wasn't. Very good. You know what he would say? He would say, Salamullahi alayhi, والذي نفس ابن أبي طالب بيده لابن أبي طالب لآنس بالموت مثل الطفل بثدي أمه. Allahu Akbar, these words. You know what he says? He says, by the one who the soul of the son of Abu Talib is in his hand, the son of Abu Talib is more eager towards death than the child is towards the chest of its mother. You see today when you have a baby, he's screaming. Nothing can keep him quiet except his mother. And the material, or in other words, the vitamins which Allah Azza wa Jal has given this mother. He created her with such vitamins that is essential to the child. What you'll begin to notice is that he stops crying only when you give him to the mother. Imam alayhi salam comes and says, I'm eager towards death, like the child is towards the chest of its mother. Now, why is the Imam saying that? Because he sees death as a bridge to God. And this is a vital point, my friends, my brothers and sisters. This is a vital point. Why? He sees death as a bridge to Allah Azza wa Jal. Some people see death as termination. I'm going to die, that's it, it's over. No, it's not about that. Imam alayhi salam says, I see death as the vehicle, as the car, as the airplane to Allah. How can I not enjoy it? He's not emo. No, Imam, if he could live for 1,000,000 years, he'll live for 1,000,000 years because he serves Allah in those millions of years. Yet he sees death what? Brothers and sisters, he sees death as what? He sees death as a vehicle to God. Hence, when he was struck, what did he say? Someone tell me. What did Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen say when he was struck? Did he say, Khilafah is gone? I've never read that. Did he say, that's it, I'm leaving this world? No. What did he say? Fuztu wa Rabbil Kaaba. Imam said, I've become victorious by the Lord of the Kaaba. Ya Ali, what do you mean you've become victorious? He's making a point. He's saying, I've won. Because I died speaking to Allah. I was born in the house of Allah. My whole life was one ruku'. Subhanallah. That's Ali ibn Abi Talib. He's saying that no, death is a bridge to Allah. Hence, death is wonderful. Because it's that now. You may feel anxious towards death because you're not ready. Have you been to a classroom when you weren't prepared for the test? I have. Don't do it. You know when you go and you take the test, you're not ready. What happens? You begin to do what? You begin to panic. You begin to make excuses. You begin to forge doctor notes and send it to the teacher. No, I'm joking. What you begin to notice is that you begin to make things up. You get anxious, yes or no? Why? Because you're not ready. Yazid was afraid of death. Saddam said, I'm ready to negotiate. Who else? It goes down. Shimr, all these enemies of Allah, they were afraid of death. Why? Because they weren't ready for the test. They weren't ready to stand before the teacher. Allah Azza wa Jal comes and says, if you were ready, you come and say, Ya suyuf khudini, as Sayyid al-Shuhada did, Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. He says, إن كان دين محمد لم يستقم إلا بقتلي يا سيوف خذيني. He says, if the religion of Muhammad wouldn't be kept alive unless with my death, oh swords, take me away. He was ready. He wanted death. Not because he was sick of life, no, but because he aced life. There's a difference. In other words, what you'll begin to notice is that Imam comes and says, go visit the graves. Sit next to the grave. Even if you don't know him, even if he's a kafir, doesn't matter. Sit next to him and lay next to him in the middle of the night. Do it. See what it does to you. Therefore, what you'll begin to notice is that death has benefits. Death has benefits. Firstly, visitation of the grave. Now, why am I mentioning to you these degrees? I'll come and mention to you a number of degrees of visitation. Why? Because these are all seen as preparations for visiting the Imam. When you visit the grave, you're preparing yourself to visit Aba Abdullah. You're preparing yourself to visit Sayyid al-Shuhada. Why? Because now when you go next to that blessed grave in Karbala, you say, I've already visited tens of graves. I've visited hundreds of graves. Now I'm ready to visit the ultimate grave. You see these graves right here, for example, on the wall. You visit them, and we pray that Allah hastens the appearance of 12th Imam to give them real shrines, to give them shrines like this. So what you'll begin to notice is that when you go and you visit the shrine, you say, I've already visited the grave. I'm ready for it. Because there are also a'mal for a dead person as well. You go and you do 2 rak'at. You go and you recite this surah. You go and you recite this dua. The websites are there and hadith are there of the exact details of which a'mal to do. But you tell yourself, you say, I have visited my grandfather's grave. Now I know I have a feeling towards visiting Aba Abdullah. It prepares you. You with me? Firstly, the grave. Secondly, who else? Visiting, for example, the lovers of the Imam. Give me your attention here. Visiting the lovers of the Imam. For example, who? Visiting the sick. It's a preparation to visit Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. Allah didn't just tell you visit Hussein. He said visit the graves, and then he said number 2, visit the lovers of the Imams, it will prepare you. For example, visiting the sick. Do you know how much emphasis has been placed upon visiting the sick? Rasulullah in his greatness would go and visit the sick. Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam would go and visit the sick. One narration comes and says there are 7 great things in the eyes of Allah. One of them is visiting the sick. Why is it so important? Because you bring happiness to him, right? You bring what? Happiness to him. I remember some people, they say you shouldn't visit the grave. Or in other words, you shouldn't visit the sick. Some Wahhabis, they come and they say you shouldn't visit the grave or the sick. Why? Because when you visit him, maybe he'll feel better. Then he'll think you cured him and not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some idiocy. So what you'll begin to notice is that visiting the sick is important. Why? One ahadith comes in, says, recite a dua for him. He'll feel better. One other hadith comes in, says, give him a present. One other hadith comes in, says, don't speak of your health before him. One other hadith comes in, says, for example, recite this dua, this surah before him. Now, these are all important. Why? Because now when you visit Hussein, you say, I visited the sick and I gave him a present. What will be my present for Aba Abdullah al-Husayn? I might have given the sick flowers. Am I going to give Hussein flowers? No. I might have been encouraged to give the sick what? To make him feel happy. How am I going to make Hussein feel happy? By what? By reading him a lullaby? No. By giving him flowers? No. I might have been encouraged to recite, for example, a certain dua before the sick. Which dua will I recite before Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam? These, you apply them. What's my point to be made? These applications which were given to us in the narrations, brothers and sisters, you apply it to Imam al-Husayn. My present to the sick might have been a flower, yes? Yet my present to Aba Abdullah is that I come to him with a pure heart. That's the present Hussein wants. He doesn't want your flowers. He has many flowers now in Jannah. He doesn't need flowers. He needs our what? He needs our sincerity. I might have what? Tried to make the sick happy by telling him of good news, for example, of reciting to him the benefits and the what's waiting for him in Jannah. You tell him Ahlul Bayt are waiting for you. You make him feel better. You make him feel good about himself. How am I going to make Hussein feel better? I'm going to tell him of things? No, he tells me everything. Yet you come to him with a heart that is Husseini, just as your body is Husseini. Some people, he comes to Aba Abdullah with black, and he comes to him with the band. Outside he's Husseini, yet on the inside there's still more work that needs to be done. On the inside it might, wal'ayadhu billah, lean towards the camps against Hussein than it does towards Husayn. I come to him as a transparent human being. Are you with me? That word, take it home, please. What is it? Transparency. Transparency. Meaning what? I don't only come to Husayn with a nice body. I don't only come to him with a red chest. I come to him with a white heart. You with me? Don't only go to Husayn with a red chest. No, go to him with a white heart. Husayn is more interested in the color of your heart than he is with the color of your chest. He'd be happy if you stroke your chest. How many? لا طمات الخدود. Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف. صلوا على محمد. 12th Imam, may Allah hasten his reappearance, he says, when they came out of the tents, they came out slapping their cheeks. Allah is happy when He sees you strike your chest. There's no discussion in this. Allah is happy when He sees your tears falling. Yet He's even more happy when He sees your heart white. He's more happy when He sees your tongue didn't lie. Because He doesn't like to see a tongue which says, Ya Hussein, yet a tongue that also lies. That hurts Imam alayhi salam. That hurts Zahra. That hurts Sayyida. That hurts her. So what you'll begin to notice is what? Go to him. Which present am I going to give him? Which dua am I going to recite for him? How am I going to make him happy? The same applications for the sick, Allah is preparing you to apply it to Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. That's number two, the grave number one. Number two is that which is known as the visiting the lovers of the Imam. And if it wasn't clear to you, let me give you this narration of our Imam alayhi salam. He says, مَنْ لَمْ يَقْدِرَ أَنْ يَزُورَنَا فَلْيَزُرْ مَوَالِينَا. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam alludes to this point. In other words, he comes in, he says, who can't visit us? Look at the words of the Imam. Who can't visit us? Go and visit those who love us. Allahu Akbar. If you can't visit Husayn, some of us can't be in Arba'in. We haven't had the tawfiq to make it to Arba'in. There's others who are. We can't make it to Arba'in. That's not a problem. Go and visit that man, for example, who spent his life serving majalis. And then the Imam says it's as if you visited us. Allahu Akbar. It's as if you visited us. If you can't visit Husayn, visit the lover of Husayn. Visit the lover of Zainab. And even greater than that, be one who is visited. That's the greatest honor, that you are a lover of Husayn. Therefore, what you'll begin to notice is that number two, visiting the lovers of Husayn. Number one, the grave. Number two, visiting the lovers. Number three, visiting places which the Imams visited. You notice this all has nothing to do with Arba'in. Many people come ziyarah. Okay, let me speak to you about Arba'in, which is fantastic. Anything about Husayn is good. Yet there are many other levels of Arba'in, many other levels of ziyarah that we need to take on board before coming to Arba'in. That now when I'm essentially going to tell you about Arba'in, it makes more sense, hopefully. Why? Not because of a new way I'm coming at it from. It's just I'm telling you what Ahlul Bayt said and putting it in perspective. So what you'll begin to notice is number three, what? Visiting places which the Imams visited. Jamkaran. Jamkaran has no Imam buried in it. Yet it's a place which some say 12th Imam visited. Masjid al-Sahla. There's no Imam buried in Masjid al-Sahla in Kufa. Yet you visit a place which some say Imam passed by. All of these places are what? These are known as what? Places which Imams aren't buried in, but there are what? There are possibilities that the Imams passed by. That's the third level. Number four, you come to the actual ziyarah of the Imam. That now when you as an insan, as a Muslim, you visited the grave, you as a human being, you visited, what else? You visited the places, the sick, the lovers, and you visited places which the Imam visited. You now go to Karbala. Now put things in perspective. Come and look at the narrations that speak about the greatness of ziyarah of Husayn. Come and look at them with me. One narration of 6th Imam alayhi salam, he says, between Husayn's grave and the skies are uncountable amount of angels. Angels. You know why I mention this hadith? Because it's a sad hadith. Some say, why is it sad? It's good. It shows good things. You know why it's sad? Because between the grave of Husayn and between the sky are angels. Yes? Between the head of Husayn and between the chest of Husayn, Rasulullah Muhammad kissed. You with me? But between that same place, they placed the sword on it. Allahu Akbar. In other words, between the grave and the sky are angels. Between the head and the chest, the Prophet kissed. The sadness is that between that same place, they placed the sword on the neck of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. Thousands of angels are leaving it. One other narration of 6th Imam, you know what he says? Some think only humans visit Hussein. 6th Imam alayhi salam says, everything asks Allah to visit Hussein. Everything. The plants ask Allah, when will I have the tawfiq of visiting Hussein? The animal asks Allah, when will I have tawfiq of visiting Hussein? The jinn. Hence when you speak about Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjallah Ta'ala al-Sharif, we come in and we say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. We say, Assalamu alayka ya Imam al-Insi wal-Jan. Why wal-Jan? Because he's not only Imam of us, he's Imam of Jinn as well. Imams, in one of the battles, I believe, Safin, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the battles, in other words, Jinn fought with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Therefore, what you'll begin to notice is that when you visit him, everything wants to visit him. Yet, there are etiquettes to visiting Hussein. Give me your attention on this fantastic point. It's an important point, in other words. When you visit Hussein alayhi salam, there are etiquettes. Didn't I tell you there are etiquettes when you visit the sick? What, could there be etiquettes just for the sick and not visiting Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam? Ulama say there are around 50 adab, 50 etiquettes for visiting Hussein. I'm not going to mention all of them. We'll be here till Fajr. But there are 50 etiquettes for visiting Hussein. I'll mention to you the 6 which I saw important. They're all important, but I'll mention to you 6 in other words, 6 of them. When you visit Hussein alayhi salam, some say, I don't feel the tawfiq, I don't feel it. You know, there's some people in Iraq, they visit Hussein like it's a vacation. He can't go on vacation, well, I'll go for ziyarah. It takes the place of vacation. Even some say, those who walk in Arba'in, they go for the love of the food, not for the love of Hussein. That's sad. So, what you'll begin to notice is that there are benefits to visit Sayyid al-Shuhada. What are the benefits? Or in other words, what are the etiquettes? Benefits? Yes, your dua is answered. What else? You visit the inheritor of all the prophets, all in one grave. Many, many, many. Yet there are etiquettes to get the benefits. You can't speak about the benefits if you're not going to speak about the etiquettes. What are the etiquettes? First etiquette of visiting Hussein is knowing Hussein. If you don't know Hussein, you can't visit Hussein. Have you visited somebody you don't know? You probably have, but you don't give him respect that he deserves. If you didn't know the person sitting next to you and he told you salam, you would say alaykum as-salam. But that alaykum as-salam is not the same alaykum as-salam as if you knew him. You agree? If a president walked in and he said salamu alaykum, you would say alaykum as-salam and turn your head. Yeah, if you knew that was a president, you would look at him, you would make sure you say alaykum as-salam correctly. If it was a allama, if it was a scholar, alim, if it was a servant of Ahlul Bayt, it's different. Knowing Hussein means what, brothers and sisters? Knowing Hussein means you know who this man is that you're visiting. You know what one hadith says? Man zara al-Husayn عارفا بحقه. 6th Imam Salamullahi alaykum says, he who visits Hussein, knowing Hussein, it's as if he visited Allah in his throne. Look at the hadith. I'm not saying it. 6th Imam alayhi salam comes and says, Salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, comes and he says, he who visits Hussein, knowing Hussein. Visiting Hussein is not enough. Knowing him. Knowing him means what, brothers and sisters? It's not knowing Hussein, son of Ali, 58 years old, he died in Karbala, 61. That's not knowing. We all know that. An atheist could know that. But an atheist doesn't know Hussein like we know him. Why? Because knowing Hussein means following Hussein. That's the peak of gnosis of Hussein. The peak of knowing Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam is following him. Is by not lying, is by not cheating, by not being a hypocrite. That's knowing Hussein. When that happens, it's as if you visited Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his throne. Imagine. That if all of those things prepare you to visit Karbala, then visiting Karbala prepares you to visit Allah. Alright? So what you'll notice is that number one, knowing him. Knowing Hussein is a preparation to knowing Allah. How many have you asked yourself, how can I build a better relationship with God? I ask myself and you, hopefully you all ask yourself this question. How do I build a better relationship with God? How? Allah says you can come to me directly, but I've given you vehicles. In other words, I've given you cars. I've given you means. Come through the door. Come through the door. There are doors to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We speak about Ali ibn Abi Talib in ziyarah of Aminullah. We say, Assalamu alayka. Ya babullah allati la yu'ta ilayhi illa min. You know what we say in the ziyarah? We say, peace be upon you, O the door of Allah, who no one comes to Allah except through that door. It's the door to God. As I mentioned, you can say Ya Allah, but I say Ya Allah through your door, help me. What's the problem with it? On the contrary, Allah says, I'll answer your dua even if you're a wretched sinner, because of the barakah of that name that you used your tongue to say. Meaning what? What are we talking? We're talking about number one, knowing Him. Knowing that this is a door to God. Knowing that this is the sacrifice of God. Knowing this is the avenger of God. Tharullah. You notice many people, Mukhtar took a vengeance for Hussein. Tawabin took a vengeance for Hussein. Even the revolution of people of Medina after Karbala took a revolution. They avenged Hussein. They all avenged Hussein. Yeah, Hussein, who was he avenging? It's a vital point. Hussein was avenging God. That's why we say, Assalamu alayka ya Tharullah wabna Thara, for example. Peace be upon you, O the avenger of God. This is the man who kept your religion alive. This is the man who were it not for him, you would be an atheist. That's what it is. This is the man who were it not for him, you would not know La ilaha illallah. This is the man who were it not for him, you wouldn't have salah. This is the man who were it not for him, the world would be far away from the truth. The world would be drowning in evil. That is the man. Now visit him. Now cling on to his grave. Now cry when you see him. That's the man right there. It's like meeting the Prophet one day. Wow, the Prophet. Allah says, visit Hussein like you know him. Not everyone visits Hussein as if he visited the throne of God. Only those who visit Hussein knowing Hussein. Knowing him. You know what one other narration says? من زار الحسين عارفا بحقه وجبت له الجنة. He who visits Hussein, knowing Hussein, Jannah is his. Jannah is not for everyone who visits Hussein. No. Jannah is for the ones who visit Hussein, knowing Hussein. Number one, knowing him. Number two, what is the mentality when I visit Hussein? And this is an important one. What is the mentality when I visit Hussein? Do I come to Hussein? Please pay attention to this point, I beg you. Do I visit Hussein with the arrogance of how much I've served him, or with the humility of how much he served me? Are you with me or no? Some go to Hussein. You know how much I've done for Hussein? You know how much majalis I've sponsored? You know how much times I've attended majlis? You know how much times I've given a lecture? You know how many times I've recited dua? You know how many times I've recited marthiyah? You know how many times I've done this? You know how many times I recited ziyarat arba'in? He goes to Hussein as if he's doing a favor to Hussein. No. Visit Hussein. That's one kind of person. Other person, he goes to visit Hussein asking him. Yes? How many people he visits Hussein asking him, oh Hussein, do this. Oh Hussein, do that. For once in your lifetime, some have mentioned good points. Don't visit Hussein asking him. Visit Hussein thanking him. There are some. He goes to Hussein asking, Ya Hussein, cure me. Ya Hussein, help me. Which is great, you should. Yet for once, don't go to Hussein asking. Go to Hussein thanking. Thank you, Hussein, for giving your head for my religion. Thank you. Thank you, Hussein, for giving 18 members of your family members for me. Thank you. Thank you, Hussein, for laying on the sands for 3 days, no food and water for me. Thank you. Thank you, Hussein, for giving your daughters and your children and your wives and your family as captives of war. Thank you. Does he not deserve thanks? Someone gives you cups of water, you tell him thank you. How about the man who gave you his head? Yes? In other words, what you begin to notice is what's the mentality? Don't go to him asking, go to him thanking. These are all what, brothers and sisters? We all, when we visit Hussein, we take these on board with us. We tell him, oh Hussein, thank you, not oh Hussein, give me. Number two. Number three, physical purity. Imam al-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamuhu. You know what 6th Imam alayhi salam says? 6th Imam salamullahi alayhi comes and he says, when you visit Hussein, fast for 3 days, then take a shower and then go. Why did he emphasize the taking a shower part? There's some people when he prays, the angels run away from him before the people around him. Sometimes, some people, his clothes, mashallah, he forgot to put cologne, or I don't know what he forgot to do, or what he did do to those clothes. The people escape before, the angels escape before the people. Yani, in other words, sometimes physical purity is highly important. النظافة من الإيمان. Hadith comes and says, cleanliness is from religion. When I visit the Imam, let me not go with, of course, we're mentioning internal things and external. You can see this as external. External being what? Go to him with clean clothing, as we all should, inshallah. We go to him with the best of physical purity. As I visit a president, as I visit a scholar, I'm not going to go to him looking dirty or smelling not in the best of fashions. I go to Hussein in the best of ways physically. Number 3. Number 4, and it's important, going to him empathizing. What do I mean empathizing? When you go to Hussein alayhi salam, 6th Imam has a fantastic hadith which he comes and he says, whoever goes to Hussein walking, every step Allah removes 1 sin. Or I'm sorry, every step 1,000 sins are moved. 1,000. Every step 1,000 levels he's raised. Look at 6th Imam what he says. Every step he's heightened 1,000 levels. Every step until the hadith comes and tells him, go to him. Look at the hadith. Go to him humble. Look at the empathy. In other words, this can be seen as also part of the 3rd point as well, which is the mentality. Come to him humble. But this 4th point, empathizing. What is the 4th point? Which is, Imam until he says, go to him hungry and thirsty. Are you with me? What do I mean when I say empathize? Empathy is different than sympathy. Sympathy is that you can, oh, I'm sorry, you were thirsty when you died. Empathize is that, no, you've been through it. You can empathize with one who lost his father only if you lost yours. Empathy, it's different. Inshallah, you all know what it is. Empathy. Imam alayhi salam comes and says, go to him thirsty and hungry because he died thirsty and hungry. Don't go to him with a full stomach. Don't go to him. Imam alayhi salam says, don't go to him with a full stomach. Don't go to him quenched your thirst. No. Go to him thirsty and hungry. How can I go to a man with a full stomach when he died with an empty one to keep my religion intact? Yes or no? How can I go to a man with quenched mouth when he died thirsty for me? Yes. In other words, Imam al-Sadiq salamullahi alayhi, what is he trying to say? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. 6th Imam alayhi salam, good. 6th Imam alayhi salam is saying, go thirsty and hungry, empathize with him. Go muta'ta' al-ra's, with your head down. Go in clothing, which is, yes, clean, but you don't go to him with a bow and a tie. Yes, you go to him with clothing which shows your humility towards Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. Number 4, which is what? Empathizing with him. Because he died thirsty. I tell him, Ya Hussein, just as I struck my chest for you in Muharram, I'm also going to come to you with that same pain, oh Aba Abdullah. Just as I cried for you in Muharram, I'm going to come to you with those same tears. Just as I screamed for you, I'm going to scream for you again, Ya Hussein, when I see you. In other words, what's the point to be made? Empathize with him. Then on this last point, and of the utmost importance indeed, which is what? Which is, what is the essence of ziyarah? Give me your attention in this last few minutes that I have. When you visit the Imam alayhi salam, what am I actually visiting? When you visit Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam, you're visiting your humanity. When you visit Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, you're visiting what makes you a human being. You might say, what is he talking about? You as a human being, we as humans are made of what? Emotions, made of spirituality, made of, for example, the ability to be social, made of ideology and thoughts and intellect. All of these never come together in a complete fashion as they do when you visit Husain. Your emotion is activated when you visit Husain. Your intellect is sparked when you visit Husain. Your body reacts when you visit Husain. Your tears, in other words, your emotion. Even socially, there is no better place to base social relationships. In other words, you're speaking to somebody on the basis of his love for Husain. And you help the Zuwar around you because of their love for Husain. You know what Sixth Imam says? Sixth Imam, one day he saw a man. He told him, I'm disappointed in you. You're not from our Shia. He told him, why? He told him, remember when you walked and you saw a person on the ground, he needed help. You didn't help him. He told him, what do you mean? He told him, you didn't help him. Because of that, you're not part of our Shia. Then how about if that was a random human being? And then how about visiting or helping the Zuwar of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam? Socially, in Karbala, you're activated. Intellectually, you think of the message of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Emotionally, you're activated. In all levels, they come together. See, now your intellect, your emotion might be activated. Yeah, not all of the elements. You with me? When you go and visit Husain, everything that makes you a human being is turned on. The switch is turned on. You're what? You reach your humanity. In other words, we have become humans twice. When Allah blew into us from His soul and when you visit Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. Are you with me? First time Allah says, come and says, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي, I blew into him from my soul. That's when you became human, first time. Yet your true humanity is attained when you visit Karbala and when you visit Husayn alayhi salam. That's when you go and you visit Husayn. You're not only knowing Husayn, you're knowing yourself. You're knowing Allah. These are important points. You're visiting yourself, you're knowing yourself and you're knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That every walk you take towards Husayn, you're burning a sin. If all you burn after 40 calories, there's something wrong, okay? If all you burn after 40 calories, there's something wrong. Every walk, as I mentioned, Imam Sadiq comes and says, 1,000 sins are removed. You're knowing yourself. It's a charge. You see, I remember sometimes my car would die. You need a charge, yes or no? You need a jump start. Karbala is the jump start to your heart. Karbala is that hit to your heart that wakes up the coldest of hearts, as Westerners came and said. In other words, look at this. When you walk vertically, you walk horizontally towards Karbala, horizontally. You can see it as a triangle. If you take anything, take this point. When you walk horizontally to Karbala. Yeah, Karbala is not only a horizontal walk. It's a vertical walk as well. Every walk which is horizontal, you're getting closer vertically. Towards Husayn, horizontal. That is granted. 3 days, 2 weeks, how much longer it takes you. Yet it's also a vertical walk. That I'm walking towards Husayn, yet I'm also getting closer to the Lord of Husayn. I'm getting to know Allah better. Every walk, and those of you who've went, you know. When you walk towards Him, you feel as if you're getting close to Allah. Why? Because it's 2 parts. Actually 3. It's a horizontal, and then internal and vertical. Horizontal is to Husayn. Internal, you know yourself. Vertical, you know Allah. All of them are juiced up in the ziyarah of Aba Abdullah. They're all summarized there. So it's great. And we ask Allah to grant us the ziyarah of the Imam. Because all of these come together when you visit the Imam. I mentioned to you social, ideological. Yet then you come to the emotional. You're also visiting the grave where Zainab alayhi salam fell upon it and told him, speak to me, by our mother Fatima. You know, in his last moments, Zainab alayhi salam would go to the Imam. She would tell him, Akhi ya Husayn, kallimni bi jaddina Muhammad. Speak to me by our grandfather Muhammad. Imam didn't open up his eyes. Akhi ya Husayn, speak to me by our father Ali. Imam didn't open up his eyes. Akhi ya Hussein, there's only one more name I can use to wake you up. Take your minds to Karbala. Until she told him, Akhi ya Hussein, kallimni bi ummina Fatima. Akhi ya Hussein, speak to me by our mother Fatima. Imam opened up his eyes. He told her, Zainab, what do you want from me? She told him, brother ya Hussein, the enemies have whipped us. The enemies have cursed our father Ali. There was always one name that hurt Abu Abdullah, which was the mentioning of the name of his mother Fatima. It always woke him up. That's why I remember when the Imam alayhi salam was going to Karbala, there was firstly one girl who stopped him. He turned around, he told her, who is it? She told him, I am Sukaina, your daughter. Come down from your horse. Imam Hussein alayhi salam came down from his horse. He told her, what do you want from me, daughter Sukaina? It's time to leave, it's time for me to go, it's time for death. She told him, wipe your hand on my head. Imam told her, why? He told her, that's an odd request. Look at the lines. She said, when Hamida, daughter of Muslim, became a yatima, I saw that you wiped on her head. I feel that I will become an orphan as well. Wipe on my head, ya Hussein. Imam wipes on her head. He goes back on his horse. Until he's going, he hears one more name, or one more of a sound telling him, Mahlan, Mahla, ya ibn al-Zahra. Slow down, ya Hussein. Slow down, O son of Zahra. Imam alayhi salam stops. He says, who is it? She tells him, I am Zainab. I am your sister. Come down, Abu Abdullah. Imam Hussein alayhi salam comes down from his horse. She tells him, brother ya Hussein, take off your armor. Imam alayhi salam takes off his armor. She comes to him, she kisses him from the neck, then she kisses him from the chest. She then turns towards Medina and she says, Ummah Fatima, قد أديت الأمانة. Mother Fatima, I have fulfilled the trust. Imam tells her, what trust are you speaking about, Zainab? She tells him, when our mother Fatima was on the deathbed, she told me, when Hussein is going to the field, kiss him once from the neck and once from the chest. Why from the neck? Why from the chest? Imam told her, why from the neck and why from the chest? She replied to him. She told him as if lines of poetry she was responding with, saying, brother Hussein, the chest will be trampled, the neck will be slain. Allahu Akbar. Brother Hussein, the chest will be trampled, the neck will be slain. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma bi Fatima wa abiha wa ba'liha wa baniha wa sirr al-mustawda'i fiha bi'adadi ma ahata bihi ilmuka ya Allah. We ask you, ya Allah, shafi kull marid. بحق مريض كربلاء زين العابدين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين واخذل الكفر والمنافقين. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. And to answer our du'as and to hasten the appearance of our Imam, we will say Surah Al-Fatiha before it. A salawat upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.